Good morning. This is the Blaines World webcast that can be found each week on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and you get more information and find out about past shows at our website, which is behind me, blainesworld.net. I'm your host, Blaine Greenfield, and I'm here in my studio in lovely downtown Fairview, North Carolina. And each week, we focus on positive news and information about people and organizations in both Western North Carolina and throughout the country. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce Sarah Korellis and Jennifer Hoffman, both with the Junior League of Asheville. And guys, you can wave to all your fans and friends who are watching this. So, okay, if you're watching, that's Sarah and Jennifer. And I should mention that Sarah Korellis is the Junior League of Asheville's Vice President of Fund Development. She joined the organization in 2023, where she chaired the league's Touch a Truck event, which we'll talk about in just a second. I'm pretty impressed, Jennifer, that, what is it, you join and then right away they get you to work? Is that, I mean, you're in it for like a day and then you're already chairing event, vice president. We better watch it, Jennifer. She's going to take over as president. Watch your back there.
Oh, I hope she does. I hope she does.
Okay. Her non-league career involves around the renewable future of energy. She's currently responsible for making it possible to generate more clean energy from 11 hydroelectric plants in the area. Jennifer Hoffman is league president. She joined the organization in 2017 when moving to Asheville and served in several leadership positions. Her day job is working in marketing for a pet brand company and developing new products for dogs, cats, rabbits, birds, and chickens. Okay, keeps you busy. So let me ask you both, first of all, in terms of Jennifer, you grew up where?
I grew up just south of Charlotte, in Rock Hill.
Okay, and when you were a girl growing up outside of Charlotte, did you always know you wanted to head a nonprofit organization? Was that your goal in life as a kid?
No, that was not really in my life plan necessarily.
And pet foods wasn't in your life plan
No,
either?
not really. I knew I wanted to work in marketing at some point, but getting to, head up a nonprofit organization definitely wasn't necessarily in the plan, but it's been a great ride.
Well, you've been involved, we mentioned, since 2017. Were you involved in nonprofits other than this?
Yeah, so during my college days, I did several internships with nonprofit organizations, and one of my first jobs was with a student organization in South Carolina for marketing students, which was a nonprofit. I got to do a couple different leadership positions with that company, and then kind of transitioned into league life after that.
By the way, what was that organization you mentioned, South Carolina?
That was South Carolina DECA, so DECA. That's an organization for marketing
And we'll have
students.
to talk about it sometime. I was a DECA teacher, I was an advisor, I was a
Who are
DECA
you?
student, and very few people, we'll have to talk about it sometime, have even heard about DECA, so
Yeah,
that is so cool. So I know it very well. Um,
awesome.
yeah, very interesting. So that's how you got into nonprofit field. Same thing too, Sarah. So as a child, you grew up where?
I grew up in Champaign, Illinois.
Okay, and same thing too, Illinois. Was that your goal too, to be involved in a nonprofit?
It wasn't, but I would say I have volunteered since before I can remember. It's just been part of my life, is definitely giving back to the community. It was one of the values my parents installed in me, and I was lucky to go to schools that helped me do that as well. So uh, I've
Were,
always been into
were,
nonprofits.
were they active? Also, your folks, were they active in volunteering in the community?
They were, yeah.
Okay. And so fast forward that a little bit. So then you moved to Asheville, you told me off the air about a year and a half ago.
I did.
What got you to Asheville?
I was living a little bit west of Asheville, and I decided it was time to move into a bigger city. So this was the closest big city in Western North Carolina, and I've absolutely loved it so far.
So then how did you get from moving to Asheville to then becoming involved in Junior League? What was the tie-in there?
Yeah, my main draw for joining Junior League was, like I said, I've always been into giving back to communities. So seeing a group of women that was one of their missions, part of their mission statement to help each other grow and to give back to the community. That was the friend group I was hoping to make in Asheville. And so I joined and have been so pleased that that is the type of women I've been able to befriend and spend a lot of time giving back with.
Now, had you heard about Junior League before you got to Asheville?
I have, yes. I've moved around a handful of times since college, and I've had a handful of friends who also have, and a couple of them used Junior League as a way to make friends in new cities as well. So definitely, I took that advice from a friend in Phoenix, and have been so thankful I did.
And then if I can ask Jennifer to give a little bit of then the background for the folks who don't know it, what is Junior League?
Yeah, so Junior League is a international organization that focuses on the development of women, and that can be in a multitude of ways. Primarily through service, we want to provide opportunities for women to develop personal and professional leadership skills. And so the Junior League of Asheville is part of that international group. Each league has their own kind of area that they cover, and within that area, they choose a specific topic that they want to improve their community. They want to improve within their community, and that's where they dedicate all of their resources. So that could be volunteer time, financial dollars that they may raise, and helping to advocate for those issues. So it can range from food insecurity to raising funds for arts programs in various communities. So Junior League does a lot of great work around the world.
So in terms of choosing that one area to work in, is it in Asheville? Is it just one area or is it in several areas simultaneously?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, interestingly enough, the Junior League of Asheville is kind of at a transition point. So, right now, our focus area is based on building coalitions amongst the thousands of nonprofits within the Asheville area. What does that mean? Connecting nonprofit organizations that might have synergies or might work better together. And then we're undergoing a kind of a research project to figure out what our next focus area is going to be. I'd love to come back on the show maybe a little later and share what that is once we get to it.
No, I'd love to do it. But right now, for example, this year then, what are the areas we're working on? And then we'll turn to what Sarah's working on. But what overall areas is the Junior League working with or on?
Yeah, so we're volunteering our time with 5 or 6 different organizations that run the gamut. So that might be Manna Food Bank, or it might be Babies Need Bottoms. Most of the opportunities that we're working on are focused on supporting women and children, but that doesn't mean that we aren't working on other environmental projects or various topics that our members are sharing interest in. And then all of our fundraising efforts are going towards supporting our Be the Change grant, which is a $10,000. We attribute $10,000 to nonprofits in the community. Last year, we gave out 10 $1,000 grants that were project based. So that's kind of where we are working to spend our time and our dollars.
So one of the things I love about hearing what you're talking about is the idea of kind of being a way for people to get involved who don't have necessarily a way to get involved. And I'm thinking, and you're probably familiar with the organization ABCCM. Are you familiar with it?
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
everybody is. But it seems you do sort of what they do, but in a different context. But they do great work, but they bring everybody together, a lot of churches. So
Yep.
what an opportunity you're giving folks. You bring women the opportunity to get involved who might not be able to get involved by themselves. It's like, I'm hearing you talk, and I'm very excited about it, that for one woman to just volunteer, that's okay. But if you have 10 women or 50 women, it's a lot more power. So that's sort of what you try to do?
Absolutely. So we have a membership of about 60 active members, and that's exactly the drive behind joining the Junior League is, yes, you can absolutely go into Manna and do a couple of shifts to help the food bank there. But if you take 25, 30 women in there, and you can really move the needle for an organization when you all come together.
And that's a problem. A lot of people are having trouble finding volunteers or finding people get involved. And like I said, that's pretty impressive. And let's then turn to how Sarah's gotten involved. And so you became involved, and then I'm very impressed. All of a sudden, you become chairman of an event. and it's one of the bigger events. Is that correct that you guys do?
It is. It's our largest fundraiser of the year.
We'll talk about what's the fundraiser.
Yeah, so it's called Touch a Truck, and it's an annual community-wide event where kids and kids at heart have the opportunity to come and see and climb on and learn about a bunch of different types of vehicles. So the vehicles range from utility to construction to first responder to transportation, just every part of if you're involved in the greater Asheville area, we would love a vehicle of your type, and we get to have it parked in the parking lot at the Tanger Asheville, and guests get to meet the drivers of the different trucks, learn about what their jobs are that they would be using those type of vehicles for, and climb on them. And the other fun part about the event is we always host it around Halloween, which actually happened by coincidence. The first year that we had the event, we were trying to host it in September, but a large hurricane came along and none of the first responders were able to support us anymore. So we delayed the event to late October, and everybody loved having it be kind of Halloween themed. So we've run with it since then, and each truck has candy, so they get to pass it out to all the kids, and we encourage people to dress up in Halloween costumes and make it truck or treating, as we call it, with the different vehicles.
I love it. How many vehicles do you have?
Last year we had 39 different vehicles, and not necessarily 39 companies, but still quite a few different companies. So we were able to represent the wide variety of type of industries that are available in the area.
Okay. And I missed it, but you said, where is this going to be hosted again?
It's at Tanger Asheville, and it's right in front of the Dillard's outlet.
Okay, so perfect location for it.
It is, yes.
It reminds me, as you're talking, Sarah, though, I'm thinking of a show I was in a couple of years ago called Hands on a Hot Body. You know the show?
I don't.
Anyway, the premise of the show was based on an actual event in Texas where people had to keep their hands on a truck. Have you heard of it, Jennifer? They keep their hands on a truck,
yeah.
and whoever stays the longest wins the car or the truck. And I remember when I told my wife it was in it, she was disappointed because she thought I was the hard body. I thought my big opportunity, but she said no, they have to keep on the truck. And you may know, Jennifer, unfortunately, it was a great event, fun show, but they eventually had to stop it because somebody died in it. And he goes, you have to keep 7 days in a row. But in your event, Sarah, you don't have to keep your hands on, it's not 7 days in a row.
It is not. It's just on October 26th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we do the first hour, we do it quiet. So no sirens, no horns, any of that. So if anybody has a noise sensitivity, they're still welcome and can feel comfortable at the event.
So it sounds like it's a lot of fun. It's a kid-friendly event, certainly seems it.
Yes, it is definitely a kid-focused event. We have face painting for free for attendees. We have balloon twisting, and we have fairy hair. So we have lots of different opportunities. We're going to have a handful of food trucks this year that attendees will be able to purchase food from if they want. And for the first time, we're offering a birthday party package. So if anybody doesn't want to plan a birthday party, they can reach out to us, and we will do all of that planning and cleanup and setup for you. You just have to let us know the guest list and bring the cake.
What, that day you mean, or it can be any time?
Yeah, we're gonna have a section specifically for birthday parties.
What a fantastic idea. Have people signed up for it?
We just started advertising about last week, so we have not secured birthdays yet, but we know we have limited spots, and we're assuming that we're going to fill up soon.
Well, since you're mentioning it, Sarah, we might as well give the contact information. I just love that idea. So folks want to come to not only the event, but they can also have a birthday party there. And what's the best way to find out about that or get information? Website or?
Yeah, we have a website that you can go to, which is asheville.jl.org, or you can email me directly, which is TAT@juniorleagueofasheville.org.
Okay, and junior spelled out, spelled out?
Correct, JUNIOR, yeah.
Okay, and so the idea of the party, so if folks come to the party, you mentioned the fairy hair. I can get fairy hair also?
We'll figure out a way.
Okay. My wife will be there. She loves fairy hair. So, but it shouldn't be just for women, guys, if they want to as well.
Definitely.
Well, I love the idea of the party. Is there a restriction on how many people you can have at the party?
We have a number that's set out in the base, but we're willing to work with any individuals to make it unique, special opportunity for them.
And typically, what are you looking to have? How many people? 8, 10, 12? Is there a number?
We
you think
assumed
of?
about 15 kids. It was
Okay.
what our assumption is about the number. But like I said, there's flexibility there. We'll have some pizzas for the kids, some drinks, some really fun truck decorations, and then obviously free included tickets to the event.
Okay. And one other question, in terms of, you said 39 trucks are slated to be in it. How do you find the trucks, or how do you come up with the idea of getting the trucks? Is that what you've been doing the last couple of months?
It is, yes. So I am not quite at 39 yet. This year, that's how many we had. Last year, we had some who unfortunately aren't able to participate again. I have 27 confirmed already for the 2024 event and working to get some more. So if any listeners out there have a really neat vehicle that they would want to include, feel free to reach out to me, that same TAT@juniorleagueofasheville.org email address, and I would love to include you in the event. But yeah, we have a list of people who've reached out and have participated in the past. I do a lot of construction for my day job, so I have some wonderful contacts there who are willing to participate. And really, Asheville just has so many different industries that have vehicles, so it's really cool to get to reach out to the wide variety of people there.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Back to Jennifer, in terms of folks joining Junior League, who do you like? Who's the ideal candidate to be a member, or who do you look for to have become a member?
Great question. So Junior League of Asheville, we are open to anyone who identifies as a woman, but mostly we're looking for members that are searching for like-minded women with a service orientation, looking to develop their personal and professional leadership skills, looking to learn new things about their community, or different approaches to all kinds of skill sets, from project management to running for office to organizing a massive fundraising event for 2,500 attendees. We've got lots of opportunities for people to try new things in a really supportive environment where you've got 60 other members that are rooting for your success and wanting you to try new things and making sure that everything's successful.
You mentioned that one number, 2,500. Have you done an event that had 2,500 people in it?
Sarah did an event with 2,500.
What, for Junior League of Asheville?
Yeah.
Last year's Touch a Truck had 2,500 attendees.
Wow, that's quite a lot of people. Have you 2,500? I'm just thinking that's a lot of people come by. So what about, Jennifer? You have women. You have some women who have no background in this or no skill set, and do they come to you and say they're interested, but they've never done this before? Do you have a place for them as well?
Absolutely. We do have some women that come in and say, I've never tried something like this before, or I've never done anything like this before. But the beauty is that the Junior League has other members that have done it before that can help walk you through things to learn new things. And not everybody comes in and starts right out as the chair of an event. We've got plenty of positions that are a little more supportive so that you can learn some new things. And when or if you're ready to take on more of a leadership role, you have the opportunity to.
Can people come on board and propose their own things they'd like to work on, or projects they like to get off the ground? Does that happen?
Yes, absolutely. We've got a process to kind of evaluate new ideas that our members come up with for our organization. And that can be anything from, hey, I heard about this event that needs volunteers to help staff an event, to one of our partners, whether it's Helpmate or Our Voice is having a fundraiser. If you guys want to attend to support them, let's all go together. So we've got kind of a range of different ways to bring ideas to the group.
And probably one of the nice things, it sounds like, is when you're putting on the event, such as Sarah's the truck event, that it's not just Sarah doing it, but kind of everybody chips in. Or I guess you can't have 60 people at every event, but what is it? As many people can come, they're just invited to help out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
last year we had 30, oh, I have the number right in front of me. 39 volunteers, the same number of trucks and volunteers that participated from the league to volunteer the day of Touch a Truck. And there's a smaller group that does the core planning, but 39 show up to support and make the day run smoothly.
In a smaller group that does the planning, how many people is that typically?
We have about, oh, how many do I have in my fund development team? I think I have 7 right now that are, we started really, our league year is June to June. So we really started right off the bat this June with the planning and haven't looked back since then.
And let me ask you both, in terms of getting people involved, is it hard to do that? I mean, do they come voluntarily, or do you have to twist their arm to get involved in some of this stuff?
Yeah, so with the junior league, what's a little bit different about our organization than maybe just another service-based organization is that there is that learning component. So each of our members actually gets what we call a placement within the league. So you serve on a council. So specifically for Sarah, she's the VP of Fund Development. She has a council of members that support all of our fundraising efforts directly. And then the rest of the league supports fundraising more generally. But all of our members have a placement, whether that's fund development or supporting our membership committee or supporting our community council. We've got different placements. So depending on what a member is most interested in, they can kind of find the placement that works for them.
Okay, what I love about that idea too is that, so when they come on board initially, Sarah being an example, that you're going to try to put them to work as soon as possible. Is that the idea?
In a way, yes, we do kind of put folks to work pretty quickly just to allow them to see what we're about and how the league functions. And um, our experience or our membership experience being slightly different than just a service organization, there is a little bit of learning to happen. So new members that come to us are going to go through a pretty brief orientation to kind of get the lay of the land within the league. So that they can figure out what part of the league they're most interested in, whether that's fund development, community, membership, or communications even.
And talk about the membership then of the group. So you mentioned you have, give or take, 60 folks. What's the age range on this?
Oh, great question. So actually a misconception about junior leagues across the states is that there's like an age restriction.
Right.
But that is not true. So you have to be 21 years old to join the junior league, and our particular league does not have an age limit. And what actually it happens with our membership is we skew slightly older, so mid 30s is about the average for our league. Some leagues may skew a bit younger to closer to the mid to late 20s, but we're right in that mid 30s range for an average.
And is there eventually, after they serve in the junior league, is there eventually a senior league, or do they graduate, or what happens?
Yeah, so after 7 years of service with the league, you could go to a status that we call sustainer, which means that you support the league financially and you're there to offer help and assistance with the league's activities, but you aren't necessarily doing some of the work like supporting Touch a Truck.
All right, so that's very cool. So that they're in with you for 7 years, but then you're trying to get other people, and they kind of get pushed out or into some other organization.
Well, yeah, they could move on to actually many of our sustainers after their time within the junior league will go on to serve on boards for other nonprofits that they've worked with the junior league on. Like some of our members are working on the board for Brother Wolf and Helpmate. So they go on to serve other organizations in our community.
And what's very interesting, I find, about this, and I'll have Sarah talk about this as well, but it's also to serve on those other boards, you're getting pretty good training, which I don't think you get anywhere else. I mean, I've never quite heard of that. Back to your DECA days, or, I'm trying to think what you tried to give leadership development to DECA, but this is actually a pretty organized way that you're going to move up in 7 years. You're going to have a variety of experiences.
Absolutely. The Junior League touts itself as the training organization for women so that you can go on to do other things, whether that's running for office or joining the board of another nonprofit. You you maybe leave your time as a league member, understanding local politics, understanding how to run a meeting successfully, how to follow Robert's Rules of Order. Like you are prepared to go on to serve on in a leadership capacity for any organization.
I was going to ask you that. Out of the years you've been involved, have any of your members gone on to political office or run for political office?
At this point, we've got some sustainers that used to serve on city council and serve in other government capacities, but not actively.
But that's, I guess, using Sarah as an example, or you as well too, there's possibility that you could be the second president of the United States. You go from junior, I don't know if Harris had that background, but go from Junior League of Asheville to going further. On the junior leagues elsewhere, how many are there throughout the country? Ballpark.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know off the top of my head. I think there's nearly 300 leagues internationally, most of them here in the States.
In North Carolina, do you know how many other chapters there are?
Um, I want to say 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody then they're listening to the show, if they want to get involved in a junior league or start one where they live, the best bet would be to contact through the website or go international, contact international.
Yeah, if you want to join a junior league, the easiest way, well, if you're local, you can email us here at joinus@juniorleagueofasheville.org. That's the easiest way to get in touch with us. And frankly, if you're interested in finding a league near you and you're not in the Asheville area, we are happy to help you. Go ahead and email that email address and we can get you to the website where it's a map and you can find the one closest to you. Leagues that are located closest to us here in Asheville: Greenville, South Carolina; Gaston County, North Carolina; Johnson City, Tennessee; Knoxville. Those are the ones that are closest to us. Charlotte too.
And Sarah, if I can ask you the question then, in terms of, since you've been involved in junior league for a short period of time here, what's been your favorite part of your involvement?
My favorite part has just been seeing the amazing things that the other women do. It's so inspirational to see someone take on a challenge and just do amazing at it. That's definitely my favorite part is having those friendships that you're rooting for people and watching them succeed.
Okay, I guess you being a pretty good example that if you knew the area especially, that's a pretty good way to get involved, like real quickly.
Definitely.
Join your league. Same thing too, Jennifer, your favorite part of your involvement?
So, I joined the junior league when I moved here to Asheville, and frankly, I was a little bit nervous about it because I had heard about other junior leagues, but really didn't know quite what I was getting myself into. But truthfully, especially with our league, you can walk into any one of our meetings and walk out with 60 new friends. It's an amazing organization that attracts women who want to better themselves, better their community. And those are the kind of people that I am friends with. And outside of just junior league projects, I hang out with these women because they're fun to be around. So not only are we like getting in the trenches of, service in the community or raising funds for our grants, but we're also like celebrating each other's birthdays and hanging out with each other just for fun.
Listening to you two women reminds me of one of my favorite quotes, and it's from a woman by the name of Shirley Chisholm. You know who she was?
Yes.
She was the first Black woman to ever run for president. And she had a great line, which is what you folks are all about. It was a service is the rent we pay for living on earth. But it's just such a great quote. But it seems that's what you folks do, but in kind of a fun way. It can have it. And let me ask, maybe as a final question, kinds of things you hear from members. We heard from Sarah what she liked doing all the projects. What do you hear from members about their involvement in the junior league? You know, what do they typically say or tell you?
Yeah, I think that what Sarah and I have expressed here is a pretty common theme, but a couple of other things that are slightly different. I hear sometimes that being part of the junior league boosted my confidence to try something new at work, gave me a new skill set that I could add to my resume. I used training that I learned with the junior league to help me negotiate for a higher salary or to navigate to a different position within my professional life. Those are the kinds of things that you don't get in a whole lot of places where you can have the fun side of being friends with 60 amazing women, and you can also really challenge yourself in a safe environment where everyone's rooting you on and everyone's challenging you to try something new. And you get to take advantage of the network of 60 really cool women. So it's not just, hey, I need to find a new job or I'd like to try something different. It's here's what I'm interested in. Do you know anyone who's looking for something like that? And, really tapping into an extra special network.
And by the way, that's not necessarily the reason people join junior league, but has that happened to have people joined and then gotten jobs as a result, or met people to get jobs? That happens?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the other part to add there is so you have the network of the 60 amazing active members, and then you have the network of all of the sustainers too. So the Junior League of Asheville started in 1927. So we're coming up on our 100th anniversary. So that is a lot of women who have had all sorts of positions and networks of their own in Asheville over that time. And joining the league, you really get to meet and connect with all those different women.
I'm curious,
That's so true.
I'm sorry. Yeah. How often do people then stay after the 7 years? And I love that 7-year thing. Do a lot of them stay on as sustainers?
It kind of depends. I would say that a lot of folks typically at the 7-year mark might take some time off and then come back a little bit later in life. It kind of depends on what they've got going on. Some women decide, okay, my kids are getting to the age where they are really needing more time with after school activities and sports and everything. So they might need to take a step back, and we are happy to have them as a supporting sustainer, and welcome them with open arms if they decide they want to come back.
And to recap, just 2 final things. Sarah, if you would mention the date and to invite people to come to your event that you're coming up, the truck event. When was that again and where?
Yeah, it's October 26th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in front of the Dillard's outlet at Tanger, Asheville. And you can buy tickets online ahead of time at asheville.jl.org, or you can buy tickets at the door.
Okay, sounds like a lot of fun. And Jennifer, same question I ask you. Folks want to get information now about Junior League of Asheville. Best bet, go to the website initially. And that website again is?
If you just Google Junior League of Asheville, we are the first link that pops up if you want to use that, or asheville.jl, like juniorleague.org. That's our website, and there's plenty of ways to get in contact with us there. If you would prefer, you can always email me directly at president@juniorleagueofasheville.org.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you both for being my guests on this edition of the Blaines World webcast. I'd also like to wish you luck at this event. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'd like to thank my producer, Captain Tassetti, and hopefully we'll actually bump into each other sometime in the not too distant future. Thanks, folks.
Looking forward to it.